Well, the congregation was really founded around Denise Eger.
She was a fierce leader, and that's what people followed.
The community at the time was struggling, and we needed shelter. We needed somebody to guide us.
We had big dreams and look towards the future.
We met in John Altschul's living room, and later at the West Hollywood Presbyterian Church.
Now, in those days, the tagline for Kol Ami said, "Not your parents' synagogue."
We scheduled our first Friday night service for the last Friday night in May. It was at my house, in the living room. We had folding chairs and 70 people showed up.
We were all amazed and deeply touched.
John likes to say that we were the only temple in town to offer valet parking.
Right.
The idea that we would actually have the opportunity to name a temple was huge.
Kol Ami seemed to fit. It was the voice of our people. We wanted our temple to reflect the people who were members of it.
We developed from an upstart, small congregation to a vibrant, mature community.
Kol Ami is a pioneering congregation.
Congregation Kol Ami has had one senior rabbi throughout its existence. Rabbi Eger was the trailblazer.
She is the founder, she as the builder, has impacted synagogues across the country and quite frankly across the world.
It's a big deal for me that she's a woman who has risen to the top of her field.
Rabbi Eger is a force of nature.
She's bold, she's brassy.
She's always there for the community, particularly for marriage equality, issues involving people living with HIV and AIDS.
She became a leader in the interfaith community, statewide as well as globally.
You know, we sing her on TV in Washington or in a march. Absolutely, she has to be in the march. That's who we are, and that's what we're about.
Right. These kinds of acts to draw attention, to bring focus to our plight as our community was a critical part of my rabbinate.
When we were thinking about building the building, we weren't some huge established congregation.
We thought it would be a place to do something where we could make a difference in the world.
The day we opened the building, we were all marching down La Brea, and it really felt like we climbed the hilltop. We had made it.
The painted tiles around the sanctuary reinforce the Jewish values of faith, honor, truth, compassion. We hired Josh Schweitzer, who designed all this, but every step of the design was influenced by Rabbi Eger.
Congregation Kol Ami has had one senior rabbi throughout its existence.
As people remember the great contributions she's made to our community, don't forget how many individuals and couples that she's assisted and counseled.
When you're around somebody who is so unafraid to be themselves, who's so unapologetic about who they are and what they believe, you sort of absorb some of that courage by osmosis. Not just feeling inspired, but feeling a sense of responsibility.
She is the rock during the hard times.
She was there for the death of my wife. I couldn't have done it without Rabbi Eger.
She takes care of all of us.
The most that I've gotten out of Rabbi's leadership is to be how to be a better person.
She welcomed me into the community, gave me the tools to thrive and become a leader in that space as well.
You've shown me what it means to be a fierce advocate, to fight on behalf of the well-being of your community.
She can capture you, and you listen, and you learn.
Rabbi Eger has literally saved lives.
She's taught me that if we have a position that's important to state, make sure that it's out there.
I'm a better Jew because of meeting Rabbi Eger and belonging to Kol Ami.
Yesterday, I enrolled in ChatGPT, and the first question I asked ChatGPT was about the success of LGBT progressive synagogues in the United States. And the answer that came back talked about Rabbi Eger and talked about Congregation Kol Ami. I think that answers all of the questions about Kol Ami and the leadership of Rabbi Eger.
The world is structured, it does everything in its power to push one's spirituality down. There is in this city incredible density, but there's also incredible isolation. There's ancient wisdom in Judaism that helps us cope in the world.
Thank you, Rabbi Eger, for your 30 years of service to Congregation Kol Ami, and for your trailblazing leadership in social justice and defense of human rights for all.
As many of you know, Rabbi Eger's favorite quote from the Bible comes from the prophet Micah, who teaches and asks the question, what does God require of us but to do justice, love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God? Rabbi Eger's rabbinate is influenced by this quote from the prophet, and also she has taught it to each and every one of us every single day by the way she lives in the world.
We're so proud to have her remain as Rabbi Emeritus.
The light she started continues to burn, and it is incumbent upon us to make sure that that light continues to spread.
We know that we are well positioned to grow and to continue on that mission in the community.
The people see Kol Ami as a safe place to be all of themselves. It says to me that we met the initial goal of the congregation.
There's so much that goes into our temple here. It's not just the promotion of one's own spirituality, the development of a community, the outreach to others, the volunteerism, certainly the activism. That's part of what I think sets the temple apart from others.
This isn't just a synagogue, it is a center, and it's a center for activism, a center for advocacy, a center for service to the community.
We have programming on trans rights, people living with HIV, Israel. Another program is our Guatemala project. We help build houses, we bring books for the kids. It's a trip that so many of our members look forward to.
We have an annual AIDS Day of Remembrance. We bring a piece of the AIDS quilt. We have things like the West Hollywood Candidate Town Hall Forum. We had an anti-Semitism task force.
We've had a lot of events here. The number of important officials, people from Israel, people in the government. We are leaders in all of the efforts to achieve equality.
Kol Ami acts like a big synagogue, even though we're small and mighty. So the types of programs that we offer, the impact that we have on the world, it's much larger. It's nice to be able to have the intimate community while having kind of a larger impact.
If I had never found Kol Ami, I would not be as comfortable in my skin as I am today.
I think what Kol Ami provided for me was a sense of a very large family.
Through the pandemic, I realized that I was never alone.
Kol Ami, Voice of My People, means we, LGBTQ plus people, are empowered with our voices.
Each voice does matter.
I grew up in a segregated South. A voice is all that we had.
If you aren't going to be that light in the world yourself, then just know that means the world is going to be a little bit darker.
Sometimes our voices had to be small, or our voices had to be hidden, but we still had a voice. The fact that Kol Ami also is allowing me to have a voice lets me know that I am also part of the people. My voice can be heard.
I can explore my Jewish beliefs and my spirituality while also still being my complete authentic self.
There is no shame in being Jewish, gay, lesbian, and trans. It is a part of who we are.
There's something very magical that happens when people worship together in the same space. And I'm so grateful that I have that in this day and age.
In the future, I really hope to see Kol Ami grow to become even more diverse.
I'm going to be here and do whatever I can to make sure that Kol Ami continues long into the future.
I am super excited to meet more Jewish people and expand my Jewish community at Kol Ami.
We have so much to offer and so much love and kindness to give that I really think that we can only go up from here.
Rabbi Eger gave us really strong bones, really strong sense of community, developing leaders. It's our opportunity to take a look at what's happening in the world and decide what comes next.